My cousin demands I swap my engagement ring with hers because it doesn't go with the cheap stuff she wears. My boyfriend proposed 3 weeks ago at this tiny Italian restaurant we go to every year on our anniversary. Nothing fancy, just our spot. The ring he gave me was his grandmother's from 1952. It's got this intricate Art Deco setting with a small center stone and delicate filigree work. His grandmother wore it for 54 years until she passed when he was 16. She practically raised him while his parents worked 2 jobs each. So, this ring means everything to him. I cried when he told me the story behind it because it felt like she was giving us her blessing, even though she's been gone for 8 years. Anyway, we announced the engagement at family dinner that Sunday, and everyone was excited. My aunt kept grabbing my hand to look at the ring, saying how elegant it was. But my cousin, who got engaged 2 months ago, just sat there picking at her salad, not saying anything. I didn't think much of it at the time. Figured maybe she was tired or having a bad day. 2 days later, she texts me saying we need to catch up and asks if I'm free for coffee Thursday. I say yes, thinking she wants to talk about wedding planning stuff since we're both going through it. She shows up 20 minutes late, wearing this absolutely massive engagement ring. I'm talking 2 carats easy with a halo setting. The thing catches light from across the room. She sits down and immediately starts complaining about how her fiancé surprised her with it, and it's too flashy for her taste. She goes on for like 10 minutes about how she's more of a minimalist and prefers dainty jewelry, and this ring doesn't match her aesthetic. I'm just nodding along thinking, okay, so exchange it for something you actually want. Then she leans forward and says, "You know what would be perfect?" And I'm like, what? Thinking she's about to ask for jewelry store recommendations. She looks at my ring and goes, "If we traded, yours would look amazing on me, and mine would suit someone who likes bigger statement pieces." I actually laughed because I thought she was joking, but her face was completely serious. She reached across the table and tried to grab my hand to pull the ring off. I yanked it back so fast I almost knocked over my coffee. She got defensive immediately, going, "Why are you being so dramatic? It's just jewelry. We're family. We should be able to share things." Then she added, "It's not like you even picked it out. It's just some dead woman's ring." That comment made my blood boil. My boyfriend's grandmother wasn't just some dead woman. She was the person who taught him how to cook, taught him Spanish, sat with him through every homework assignment when his parents were working nights. I told her the ring was a family heirloom and meant everything to him, and she literally rolled her eyes and said, "Well, my ring cost $8,400, so technically I'm offering you a major upgrade." She pulled out her phone and showed me the receipt her fiancé had sent her. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I stood up, grabbed my coffee, and said, "If your fiancé spent $8,400 on that ring, he got scammed because my free one has more meaning than yours ever will." Then I walked out. She immediately started texting me saying I was unreasonable and materialistic, which is rich coming from someone who just tried to trade rings based on dollar value. I ignored her. That night, she called my mom crying, saying I humiliated her in public and made her feel bad about her engagement. My mom called me asking what happened, and when I explained everything, she went completely silent for about 10 seconds. Then she said, "Your cousin just tried to steal a family heirloom from you." Turns out my mom called my aunt, and apparently this behavior isn't new. My cousin wants to become people entirely. She started texting like me, wearing my outfits. My hairstylist called saying someone claimed to be me requesting my haircut. It was my cousin. Files went missing with my ID. Someone tried accessing my bank account. My cousin posted wearing my missing sweatshirt. I called her, and she answered using my voice saying, "I've been practicing, do I sound right?" I heard my boyfriend's ringtone in background. She said, "Where you should be," then hung up. I stood there in my kitchen staring at my phone for probably a full minute. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped it. That was his ringtone. The custom one I set for him months ago because he loves that stupid song from the 80s that I honestly can't stand, but it makes him happy. There was no mistaking it. I tried calling him. Straight to voicemail. I texted him. No response. Waited maybe 30 seconds and called again. Nothing. I sent another text. "Where are you? Call me right now." Nothing. So I grabbed my keys and basically ran to my car. The whole drive to my apartment, my brain was trying to come up with reasonable explanations, you know? Like maybe she was just near him somewhere. Maybe they ran into each other at the grocery store or something. Maybe I was completely overreacting and being paranoid. But that voice, her doing my voice, that wasn't normal paranoia territory. I pulled into my parking spot at the apartment complex and sat there for a second trying to calm down. My heart was pounding. I walked up to my door on the 2nd floor, put my key in the lock, and turned it. It didn't turn. I tried again, wiggling it around, thinking maybe the lock was just being difficult like it sometimes gets when it's cold outside. Nothing. The key literally would not work. It went into the lock fine, but it wouldn't turn at all. I stepped back and looked at the door like it had personally betrayed me. Like, what the hell? This is my apartment, my key, my lock. Then I walked over to the living room window and looked inside. My cousin was in my kitchen, wearing my gray sweater, the oversized one that's been missing for 2 weeks, the one I'd torn my closet apart looking for. Her hair was styled exactly like mine, down to the part on the left side and the way the ends curled slightly. She had my hair clip in, the tortoiseshell one. She was cooking something on the stove, and I could see her humming along to something. And then my boyfriend walked up behind her, put his arms around her waist, kissed the side of her neck like he does with me when I'm cooking dinner. She turned around in his arms, smiled up at him, and said something I couldn't hear through the glass. He laughed. Actually laughed. The kind of genuine laugh he does when he's really comfortable and happy. I started banging on the door, pounding it with both fists. "Open the door! Jake, what the hell is going on? Open the door right now!" I saw my cousin say something to him, saw her pat his chest like, "Don't worry, I'll handle this." And then she walked over to the door. She unlocked it and opened it just wide enough to stick her face out. When she spoke, it was in my voice. Not similar to my voice. Not kind of like my voice. My actual voice. Like she'd somehow stolen my vocal cords. "Wrong apartment," she said flatly. Then she smiled at me with my smile and closed the door. I heard the deadbolt slide into place. I'm not a violent person, okay? I've never broken anything in anger in my entire life. I don't throw things, I don't hit walls, nothing like that. But in that moment, I genuinely thought about kicking the door down. Instead, I forced myself to think. The bathroom window. I walked around to the side of the building where the bathroom window faces the alley. It's one of those old windows that doesn't lock properly because the latch has been broken since I moved in like 2 years ago. I've been meaning to get maintenance to fix it, but I kept forgetting because, it's the second floor bathroom window. Who's gonna break in through that? Apparently me. I had to drag over a dumpster to stand on, and I basically had to hoist myself up and through this narrow window, scraping my knee on the sill hard enough that I felt the skin tear. I didn't even care. I wiggled through and basically fell into my own bathroom, knocking over the trash can. I stood there breathing hard for a second. The bathroom was dark. I could hear voices in the living room, but they were faint, casual, normal, like it was just a regular evening at home. I opened the bathroom door as quietly as I could and stepped into the hallway. My boyfriend wasn't in the living room anymore, just my cousin, sitting on my couch like she owned the place. My couch, flipping through Netflix on my TV using my account. She was curled up with my favorite blanket, the chunky knit one my mom made me. She looked up at me when I came in and didn't even flinch. Didn't look surprised or scared or guilty. She just looked at me like I was interrupting her show. "Where's Jake?" I demanded. "He went to pick up dinner," she said casually. "Should be back in like 15 minutes. "What the hell are you doing in my apartment? How did you change my locks?" She smiled. "I've been here for 9 days. He hasn't noticed because I'm better at this than you." "Better at what? Being insane?" She reached over to the coffee table and picked up a small spiral notebook, the kind you'd use for school. She flipped it open and turned it toward me. "I've been tracking every single interaction with him. What makes him smile, what he likes for breakfast, how he takes his coffee, when he wants to talk about his day and when he just wants quiet time, when he's stressed and needs reassurance versus when he's fine and just wants company. I do it perfectly every single time." I grabbed the notebook from her, page after page of notes in her handwriting, dates, times, observations. Tuesday 3:12, mentioned his boss was annoying, needed to vent for 20 minutes before transitioning to lighter topics. Wednesday 3:13, morning person today, wanted breakfast together, made eggs with cheese, his favorite. He smiled and kissed my forehead. Thursday 3:14, came home stressed, didn't want to talk. I gave him space and rubbed his shoulders after an hour. He said, "Thank you for understanding." She'd been documenting my boyfriend like a science experiment. "You're completely insane," I said, my voice shaking. "Like actually insane. You need serious help." "No," she said calmly, like we were discussing the weather. "I'm dedicated. There's a difference. You never paid attention to him like this. You just coasted along assuming he'd always be there. I've been with him for 3 years, and I've been studying him for 5 months. Quality over quantity." I heard keys jingling in the door. My stomach dropped straight through the floor. The door opened and my boyfriend walked in carrying 2 bags of Thai food from the place down the street. He looked up, saw both of us standing there, and literally froze in the doorway. His face went completely blank, like his brain was buffering. "Jake," I started, but my cousin was faster. She immediately smiled, walked over to him, and took his hand in both of hers. Her voice was so gentle, so concerned. "Hey babe, so, my cousin showed up. I think she's going through something." She climbed in through the bathroom window and seems really confused. She said she thought this was her apartment. Jake looked at her face, then at mine. His eyes went back and forth between us like 3 times, and I swear to God, I saw genuine uncertainty in his expression, like he actually didn't know which one of us he'd been living with for the past week and a half. That's when I noticed the details. She'd copied everything, the way she stood with her weight on her right foot, the slight tilt of her head when she talked to him, her hand gestures, even the small scar I have on my left hand from a cooking accident last year when I grabbed a hot pan. She'd drawn it on with makeup. It was the exact right size and shape and position. "Jake," I said, and my voice cracked. "It's me. This is my apartment." She broke in. She's been pretending to be me. He just stood there holding the takeout bags. The smell of pad thai filled the apartment. He looked at me like I was a stranger. "Check her hand," my cousin said softly. "The scar. I have it. From when we made that stir fry last month, remember? You felt so bad because you distracted me and I grabbed the pan. That was my memory. My scar." But she was acting like it was hers because she'd literally drawn it on herself. Jake looked down at her hand, at the fake scar, then at my hand, at the real one. He started. "I don't understand what's happening right now." My cousin squeezed his hand. "It's okay. This is obviously really confusing. Maybe we should just give her some space and she can figure out whatever she's dealing with. I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation." I pushed past both of them and went straight to the bedroom, threw open the closet door. Half my clothes were gone. The specific ones she'd been stealing over the past few weeks, I realized. My favorite jeans, 3 of my sweaters, the leather jacket Jake got me for my birthday. I tore through the dresser drawers, my pajamas, my workout clothes, my underwear. She'd taken stuff from every category, enough that she could live here and have outfit options. Then I saw her purse sitting on the dresser, like she wasn't even trying to hide it anymore. I grabbed it and dumped the entire contents onto the bed. Wallet, keys, chapstick, random receipts, and my engagement ring. It fell onto the white comforter, the filigree catching the light from the lamp. She'd been wearing it, all week, wearing his grandmother's ring and pretending to be his fiancé. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely pick it up. I put it in my pocket and kept digging through her stuff. Found her phone, the case covered in little sparkly stickers. No passcode. I opened it and went straight to messages. She had an ongoing text conversation with Jake, except the number listed was mine. My contact info, my name, my profile picture. But I hadn't sent these messages. I scrolled up, my stomach turning. 10 days of messages. Good morning, handsome. Hope you have a great day at work. Thinking about you. Can't wait to see you tonight. I'm making your favorite for dinner. Love you so much. All the things I would normally text him, things that sound like me, but I hadn't sent a single one. I opened my own phone with my other hand and checked my sent messages to Jake. The last thing I'd actually sent him was 3 days ago. Running late, stuck in traffic. She'd been intercepting my texts somehow, responding to him from my number, then deleting the messages so they wouldn't show up in my sent folder. He thought we'd been having normal couple conversations for 10 days. Every good morning and I love you and how is your day had been her. I went back to her phone and found the app she was using. Some kind of text forwarding thing. She'd somehow gotten access to my phone at some point, probably when I left it on the table at family dinner, and set it up so a copy of every text Jake sent me also went to her. Then she'd reply from my actual number using this app and delete the sent messages remotely. I felt sick. I walked back into the living room holding the ring in one hand and her phone in the other. Jake and my cousin were standing by the kitchen counter. He'd put the food down and looked like he might throw up. Look at this, I said, shoving her phone toward him. Look at these messages. This is her phone. She's been answering your text to me for 10 days. I never sent any of this. Jake took the phone, started scrolling. His face went white. And she had my ring, I continued, holding it up. Your grandmother's ring. She's been wearing it all week, pretending to be me. My cousin didn't deny any of it. She just looked at Jake with this sad, understanding expression and said, I made you happier this week than she has in months, didn't I? I never complained about your long hours. I never got frustrated when you wanted to just relax instead of going out. I never started arguments over little things. I made everything easy. Jake's face twisted, not with anger, with guilt, because what she was saying was true, and he knew it. Jake, I said. My voice sounded small. He looked down at the floor, couldn't meet my eyes. I mean, I did notice you seemed different. In a good way, honestly. You were more affectionate, more patient. We didn't fight about stupid stuff. I thought maybe you were just in a better mood lately, less stressed or something. That wasn't me, I practically screamed. That was her. She's been impersonating me. I know, he said quietly. I know that now. But what? He ran his hand through his hair, something he does when he's anxious. I keep thinking about how nice this past week was. No tension, no stress, no feeling like I'm always doing something wrong. Just easy, comfortable. My cousin reached for his hand again, and he let her take it. He stood there holding her hand while looking at me. I felt something physically crack in my chest, like my rib cage was splitting open. Are you serious right now? I asked. You're actually considering this? She's insane, Jake. She broke into my apartment, changed my locks, stole my identity, and you're standing there thinking about how nice it was. I don't know what I'm thinking, he said. This is all really messed up and I need a minute to process. You need a minute? I was crying now. I need you to tell this psycho to get out of my apartment. It's not your apartment anymore, my cousin said calmly. I had the lease transferred to my name 6 days ago. The landlord thinks I'm you. I showed him your ID. Well, the fake one I made. He was very understanding about wanting to add my boyfriend to the lease. The room started spinning. That's identity theft. That's fraud. That's like 10 different crimes. She shrugged. Prove it. I pulled out my phone and called my mom. You need to get over here right now. Bring out Lisa. I'm at my apartment and you need to see this. They showed up in 20 minutes. My mom took one look at the situation. Me crying, my cousin sitting calmly on the couch, Jake standing there looking like he wanted to disappear, and immediately grabbed my aunt by the arm. Tell her, my mom said. Tell her what your daughter did before. My aunt went pale. She looked at my cousin, then at the floor. That was a long time ago. She was young. Tell her, my mom repeated, her voice like ice. My aunt sighed, and she suddenly looked about 10 years older. When she was in college, sophomore year, there was a roommate, a girl named Amy. Your cousin became fixated on her, started dressing like her, doing her hair the same way, using the same phrases. Eventually, she started going to Amy's classes, pretending to be her, turned in assignments as her. Amy didn't even know for 3 weeks. What happened? I asked. Amy found her in her room one night, going through her things, practicing her signature. She freaked out and went to campus security. There was a whole investigation. We had to... She stopped, looking uncomfortable. You had to what? We paid her $15,000 to drop it and transfer to a different school. And we paid the school to seal the records and not pursue any disciplinary action. We told everyone Amy just decided to study abroad and your cousin missed her. My cousin was smiling. Actually smiling while her mom told this story. She's been in therapy since then, my aunt continued weakly. On medication. We thought she was better. She seemed stable. She got engaged. She has a job. She was doing well. She seemed better, my mom said. Your daughter is currently living in my daughter's apartment, pretending to be her, and you thought she was better? My cousin stood up. I was never better. I just got better at hiding it, better at planning, better at execution. Amy was practice. This is the real thing. The casualness in her voice made my skin crawl. I started going through her bags, the 2 big suitcases she'd apparently brought when she moved in. Jake tried to stop me, but I shoved past him. I found a folder tucked into a side pocket of one suitcase. Opened it. Photos of Jake. Dozens of them. Him leaving his office building, him at the gym, him getting coffee, him at the grocery store, all taken from a distance with a good zoom lens. Each photo had a date and timestamp printed on it. The earliest one was from 5 months ago. There were printed emails too, screenshots of his social media, a whole document about his daily routine, his favorite foods, his friends' names, his work schedule. She'd been building a file on him like a detective. "You've been stalking him," I said, "for 5 months, since before we even got engaged." She nodded like I just complimented her outfit. "I saw you two at that Italian restaurant on your anniversary, September 15th. You were sitting by the window. He kept trying to hold your hand and you were on your phone, barely paying attention. He ordered your favorite wine and you didn't even notice. He looked so sad." Jake's face went red. "I was sitting 3 tables away," she continued. "I watched the whole dinner, and I thought he deserves better. He deserves someone who actually appreciates him. And then I saw the ring. When he proposed, I saw that ring and I wanted it. I wanted everything about your life, so I decided to take it." "You're completely delusional," I said. "No, I'm realistic. You didn't appreciate what you had. You took him for granted. I saw an opportunity, and I took it. That's not delusional. That's strategic." She turned to Jake. "Tell her the truth. Tell her that these past 9 days, even knowing now what you know, you were happier. Tell her I made you feel valued and important and loved in a way you haven't felt in a long time." Jake looked at me, then at her. His eyes were wet. "Don't you dare," I said to him. "Don't you dare say it." "I'm sorry," he whispered, "but it's true. I didn't realize how much I needed that until I had it. Even if it was fake, even if it was her pretending, I felt it, and it was real to me." My cousin stepped closer to him. "It doesn't have to be fake. I can be exactly what you need. I already proved it." I grabbed her phone again and showed Jake the app, the forwarding settings, the deleted messages. "Look at this. Look how she manipulated everything. She was curating your entire experience. You think she was being this perfect girlfriend, but she was following a script based on months of stalking you. It wasn't real. It felt real," he said. I found more messages on her phone, ones she'd sent to her friends about the whole plan. "Day 6, still hasn't noticed. He actually told me I seem happier lately. This is almost too easy. He's so desperate for attention that he doesn't even question why I suddenly care about his stupid hobby. Got the ring yesterday, wore it to his work's happy hour. His coworkers complimented it. He looked so proud. I showed these to Jake. Look at what she really thinks. You think she cares about you? She thinks you're desperate and pathetic. This is a game to her." My cousin grabbed the phone from me. "Those messages are out of context. I was venting to friends. Everyone vents about their relationship sometimes." "It's not your relationship," I shouted. "It's mine. He's mine. This is my life." "Not anymore," she said simply. I turned to Jake, looked right at him. "I need you to choose right now, me or her, your actual fiancé or this crazy person who's been stalking you and pretending to be me." He stood there, hands shaking, looking between us. "Jake, please," I said. I was begging now. "We've been together 3 years. You love me. You proposed to me. Your grandmother's ring is supposed to be mine. Don't let her manipulate you like this." My cousin took his other hand so she was holding both of them. "I know I went about this the wrong way," she said to him, her voice soft and sweet. "I know this seems crazy, but put aside how it happened for a second. Think about how you felt this week. Think about coming home to someone who was genuinely excited to see you, who listened to your day, who made your favorite meals, who never rolled their eyes when you wanted to talk about work, who actually wanted to spend time with you." "That's because she was performing," I said. "She can't keep that up forever. It's not sustainable. The second she gets bored or you do something that annoys her, the mask will drop." "Maybe," my cousin said. "Or maybe I'm just a better match for him than you are. Maybe I understand what he needs, and you never did." Jake pulled his hands away from both of us and sat down on the arm of the couch, put his head in his hands. "I can't believe this is happening," he said. "This is insane. This whole situation is completely insane. So tell her to leave," I said. "Call the cops. Have her arrested for breaking and entering, for identity theft, for fraud. End this." He looked up at me. "And then what? We just go back to the way things were? Pretend this didn't happen? We go to couples therapy. We work on our relationship. We fix whatever problems we have like normal people, not like psychopaths who steal identities." "I don't know if I can do that," he said quietly. The room went silent. Even my mom and aunt stopped talking. "What are you saying?" I asked. "I'm saying," he stood up, looked at me with this horrible, guilty expression. "I'm saying that these past 9 days, even knowing now that it wasn't you, I was happier. I didn't feel like I was constantly walking on eggshells. I didn't feel like I was competing with your phone for your attention. I didn't feel like an afterthought. So this is my fault?" My voice was shaking. "You're actually blaming me for her being a psychopath?" "No, that's not what that's exactly what you're saying. You're saying I deserve this because I wasn't paying enough attention to you. You didn't deserve this," he said. "But maybe we weren't as good together as I wanted to believe. Maybe she just showed me that." My cousin smiled. She actually smiled, standing there in my apartment, wearing my clothes, with my boyfriend defending her. "I did make a point, didn't I?" she said. "I proved that he doesn't actually love you. He loves the idea of someone who cares. And I can be that person. I already proved it." "You proved you're a skilled liar," my mom snapped. "That's all you proved." My cousin ignored her, kept her eyes on Jake. "I'll make you a deal," she said to me. "I'll walk away, I'll leave, I'll never contact either of you again. You can have your apartment back, your boyfriend back, your life back, all of it. Okay, I said immediately. Just give me the ring. I stared at her. What? That's all I really wanted anyway. The ring, his grandmother's ring. You can have everything else. Just give me what I earned. You didn't earn anything. You're a thief and a fraud. I spent 5 months planning this. I learned everything about him. I made him happier in 9 days than you did in a year. I wore that ring to his office, to dinner with his friends, to coffee with his mom. I honored it more in a week than you have in 3 weeks. Yeah, I earned it. I looked at Jake, waiting for him to tell her she was insane, to defend his grandmother's memory, to say there was no way in hell she was getting that ring. He said nothing, just looked at the floor. My cousin pulled out her phone again and opened her photo gallery. Oh, and by the way, I should mention, I already met his mom. Twice, actually. Jake's head snapped up. What? We got coffee last Tuesday at that place near her work. She asked me how wedding planning was going, and I told her we were thinking about a spring wedding, maybe April. She said that's when your grandmother got married. Then we went shopping on Thursday. She helped me pick out a dress for this work thing. Well, your work thing. I went to your company happy hour last week as your fiancé. Jake looked like he might pass out. You met my mother? My coworkers? Your mom is so sweet. We talked about your grandmother for like an hour. She told me stories about the ring, about how your grandmother wore it every single day, even when she was gardening or cooking. She said she could tell I'd take good care of it, that she was so happy you found someone who appreciated family history. She swiped through photos on her phone. There she was with Jake's mom at a coffee shop, both of them smiling. Another photo of them shopping, holding up dresses. Another of her at what was clearly his office happy hour, surrounded by people I recognized from his work stories. Everyone loved me, she said. Your boss told me I was exactly as great as you'd described. He said you seemed happier lately, less stressed. Your mom invited me to family dinner next Sunday. She wants to show me your grandmother's wedding album. Jake's face had gone completely gray. You pretended to be her to my mother, to my coworkers, to everyone, and they all believed me. Because I'm convincing. Because I'm good at this. Because I actually put in the effort to be what you needed. She turned back to me. So yeah, I already replaced you. Not just with him, but with his entire family, his entire life. Even if you take him back now, his mom will always compare you to me. Wonder why you're not as sweet as you were that week. Why you're not as interested in family stories. His coworkers will wonder why you're different. You'll never measure up to the version of you I created. I felt like I couldn't breathe. She'd thought of everything. This wasn't some impulsive, crazy act. She'd been systematic, thorough. She'd infiltrated every part of his life and done it so well that even now, even knowing the truth, I could see him wavering. Jake, I said. His name came out as barely a whisper. Please, don't do this. Don't let her win. He looked at me, really looked at me for the first time since he'd walked in with that Thai food. His eyes were red and wet, and he looked so tired. I can't do this anymore, he finally said. Can't do what? This. Us. The way things were. He took a shaky breath. These past 9 days, even knowing now that it was her, that it was fake, that the whole thing was a manipulation, I was happier. And I hate that. I hate that I'm even thinking this way. But I can't stop thinking about how good it felt to come home and actually be excited to be there. To not wonder if I was going to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. To feel like I was someone's priority. I did prioritize you, I said. But even as I said it, I knew it wasn't entirely true. I'd been stressed with work, distracted. There were nights I'd been too tired to talk. Mornings I'd scrolled through my phone instead of engaging with him. Little moments I'd let slide because I figured we had time, we were solid, it didn't matter. And she'd cataloged every single one of those moments, used them against me. You prioritized me sometimes, he said, when it was convenient, when you weren't busy or tired or stressed. But he stopped himself. I mean, when I thought it was you, when I thought you were just in a better place mentally or whatever, it felt like I actually mattered, like you were choosing me first. My cousin moved closer to him. You did matter. You do matter. And I can keep making you feel that way. Not as her, as me. We can start fresh. Build something real. This isn't real, I shouted. None of this is real. She studied you like a test. She doesn't love you. She's obsessed with the idea of taking something from me. Maybe it started that way, my cousin said calmly. But feelings change. I've spent more time thinking about him, learning about him, caring about what makes him happy than you have in months. At what point does that become real? I looked at my mom, at my aunt, at Jake, waiting for someone to call this out for the insanity it was. My aunt just looked at her daughter with this resigned, exhausted expression, like she'd given up years ago. My mom was staring at Jake with pure disgust, and Jake was looking at my cousin like he was actually considering it. You can't be serious, I said to him. You cannot seriously be thinking about choosing her. I don't know what I'm thinking, he said. I just know I can't go back to the way things were. I can't pretend this didn't happen. I can't unknow how it felt to think you actually cared about the little stuff. I did care. I do care. Do you? He looked at me. Tell me the name of the project I've been stressed about at work for the last month. I opened my mouth, closed it. I couldn't remember. I knew he'd mentioned it, knew it was something with a deadline, but the specific name, it's the Morrison account, he said quietly. I've talked about it probably 20 times. I've stayed late 4 nights in the last 2 weeks working on it. I knew you were stressed about work. She knew the name, he interrupted. She asked me about it specifically, asked how the presentation went, celebrated with me when we landed the client, made my favorite dinner that night without me even asking. Because she was reading your emails. She hacked your stuff. She knew because she was spying on you. I know that, he said. Don't you think I know that? But it doesn't change the fact that it felt good. That for 9 days I felt seen and heard and important. My cousin reached out and took his hand again. I can keep doing that. I want to keep doing that. Not because I have to, not because I'm performing, because making you happy makes me happy. I wanted to scream, wanted to grab her by her hair, my hair, styled exactly like mine, and throw her out the window. Instead, I pulled the ring out of my pocket, held it up. This is what you really want, right? You said it yourself. You don't actually care about him. You want the ring. You want to take something from me. She looked at the ring. I watched her eyes track it, hungry, desperate. So here's my offer, I said. You leave right now. You never contact him again. You get help for whatever is wrong with you, and you can have the ring. No, Jake said immediately. That's my grandmother's ring. That's a family heirloom. You can't just give it to her. It's mine to give, I said. You gave it to me. That makes it mine. I gave it to you as an engagement ring, as a symbol of us getting married. If we're not, he stopped. The room went completely silent. If we're not what? I asked. He couldn't look at me. I don't think I can marry you. Not after this. Not feeling the way I feel. My mom made a sound like she'd been punched. I just stood there, numb. So you're choosing her. After everything she did, everything she is, you're actually choosing her. I'm not choosing her, he said, but it sounded weak even to him. I can't be with you. Not right now. Maybe not ever. I need to figure out what I actually want. You want her, I said flatly. Just say it. I want to feel the way I felt this week, he said. And if that means, he stopped again. My cousin stepped even closer to him, put her hand on his chest. You can feel that way. I can make you feel that way. Just give me a chance. A real chance. And I watched him look down at her, watched him not pull away. I set the ring on the kitchen counter. Just put it down gently like it was made of glass. I'm done, I said. Wait, Jake said. No, I'm done. You want her? You can have her. You want someone who will pretend to be perfect and follow you around with a notebook tracking your every mood? Great. That sounds healthy and sustainable and not at all completely insane. I looked at my cousin. You win. Congratulations. You successfully stole my life. Hope it fits. I walked to the bedroom, grabbed my actual purse, my laptop, and the few things I could see that were definitely mine. My mom helped me. We didn't say anything, just grabbed armfuls of my stuff. When we came back out, my cousin was examining the ring on the counter. Not touching it yet, but staring at it like it was the Holy Grail. Jake was sitting on the couch now, head in his hands. We'll come back for the rest later, my mom said. With a police escort if we have to. My aunt grabbed her purse. I'm sorry, she said to me. I really am. I thought we had this under control. I thought she was better. She's your daughter, I said. Get her help. Lock her up. I don't care. Just keep her away from me. We walked out. I didn't look back. In the car, my mom was crying. I can't believe him. I cannot believe he chose that psychopath over you. He didn't choose her, I said. I felt weirdly calm, numb. He chose the fake version of me she created. He fell in love with a performance. That's not love, no, but he thinks it is, and that's what matters. She drove me to her house, set me up in my old bedroom, the one I'd lived in through high school. The walls still had posters from bands I liked when I was 16. I lay down on the bed and stared at the ceiling. 2 weeks went by. I stayed with my mom, went to work, came home, repeated, didn't check social media, didn't answer calls from numbers I didn't know, existed in this weird state of shock and numbness. Then my mom came into my room one morning with her phone in her hand, looking pale. I need to show you something, she said. She handed me her phone. It was open to Instagram, to Jake's account. There was a new post from 3 days ago, a photo of him and my cousin at some restaurant. She was wearing my style of clothes, had her hair exactly like mine. The caption read, "Grateful for this amazing woman and our fresh start. Life's too short not to be with someone who makes you genuinely happy." The comments were full of people congratulating them, saying they looked great together, asking when the wedding was. I scrolled to my cousin's page. She'd changed her username to include his last name. Her bio said, "Fiancé to the most amazing man." Her profile picture was the two of them, her hand prominently displayed with the ring catching the light. She'd posted the ring multiple times, close-up shots of her hand wearing it, a photo at a jewelry store, apparently getting it resized, a post about honoring family traditions, with a long caption about how much the ring meant to her, how she'd never take it off, how she understood the weight of wearing something with so much history. People were commenting about how beautiful it was, how lucky she was, how romantic the whole thing seemed. He's still with her, my mom said unnecessarily. She moved in fully, changed all her social media. She's living your life. I scrolled more, found a post from my aunt, a family dinner photo with everyone smiling, my cousin sitting next to Jake like she'd always been there. The caption, "So grateful my daughter found such a wonderful partner. Welcome to the family, Jake." My aunt had accepted it. They all had. I found more posts. My cousin at Jake's office party, meeting his extended family at some reunion, wearing the ring in every single photo. In the last post from 2 days ago, Jake had written, "People keep asking what changed. Honestly, she did. My fiancé went through this transformation over the last few weeks and became this lighter, happier, more present version of herself. It made me realize what I'd been missing. We're happier than we've ever been." My cousin had commented, "You bring out the best in me. Can't wait to spend forever making you this happy." Hundreds of likes, dozens of comments from people who had no idea what actually happened. She'd won. She'd taken my entire life, convinced everyone it was a love story, and was living happily in my apartment with my boyfriend wearing my ring. And the worst part, the part that made me feel physically sick, was that he'd chosen it. He'd known the truth, known what she was, known how she'd manipulated everything, and he'd chosen the performance over the reality. She hadn't just stolen my life. She'd proven that a complete fabrication could love him better than I did, and he'd accepted it willingly.